Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to Jacked Up Monday nights, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We've got a special guest on the radio right now and also on video chat too. So you can check it out on the Amherst Island webpage. You can check it out on my personal page. And if you're listening to the radio, well, enjoy. This is Joel Malloy. Say hi.
Hey guys, how you doing? Good to be here. Thanks for having me on, Jack.
Hey, no problem, man. Just got a couple questions for you. Just you might as well just start off by we just played the entire I think it was the Sterling J Birds the self-titled album.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you. That's just a little rough demo. We you know how it is when you got a song in your head and you gotta record it to get it out of your head to move on. So that's the way I am when I record music, and I can't help myself but have to record the song to move on. So those are all pretty much singles, and I put them on a CD just to hand out to anybody at a show. So if you see me at a show, stop by. I always have a briefcase full of CDs for everybody. And if you want to support our band, I think it's on iTunes and Amazon Music and all that good stuff too.
Right on, man. That's awesome. So whereabouts did you record that album?
We recorded all that at Lambert Drive Studios. That's here in Belleville. I'm from Sterling myself, the Sterling J Birds. And so I recorded at Lambert Drive Studios in Belleville with Jason Hamilton. He's a longtime friend of mine. I met him through my other band. I have another band called For the Love, and I'm a drummer in that band, and I also write songs in it. And we were recording an album with that band, and he ended up being the bass player for that band. So me and Jay have had a great relationship. He's a super solid guy, and if you need any recording, he's there for everybody. So it's good.
That's awesome. That's called Lambert Drive Studios.
Yeah, you can find it on Instagram or Facebook or all that good stuff, or probably even has a website. I know he does. So check him out.
For sure. So I've been in there. Actually, I can't remember. You were recording maybe a Jaybird song or something, and you needed just some harmonizing on some vocals. And it was just like we woke up one morning and you're like, Jack, and you brought me over to the studio. And next thing I'm in the booth, and I was just kind of, you're like, just get in there and just try to sing along with it. That was a fun day.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm this guy who has all these sounds and all these thoughts in my head. And for some reason, when I hear something, well, here, let me put a little bit of a history on the Jaybirds here. So the Jaybirds started out as a three-piece band. The Jaybirds started out as a two-piece band with this man right here, Jack Mead, and my brother, Jason Malloy. Jay, my brother, he plays mandolin and guitar, and Jay and Jack grooved on these old, like, Grateful Dead songs and all this old-time music. So no one was really playing it. So I masterminded this thing like I did. I was in FTL, and I was like, you guys should open for me. You guys should open for me. So Jay and Jack always opened for my band FTL. And one night I needed to I'm heavily involved in the community. I love the community. I love to give back. I love to do whatever I can. So one night for the Rotary Club in Sterling, we were doing a benefit show we were sending a girl to school in Belize. So I called up a bunch of my friends, and what I had my brother Jason Malloy, I called Jack, I called Sean Morfin, I called Ron Cook, and me. And the six of us sat down, and we all started playing music. And by the end of the night, it was just me, Jack, and Jay left over. And we played music, and then people were standing up and cheering, and everything was so good. And everyone's like, this is amazing. And Jack was like, yeah, we're the Jaybirds. I'm like, yeah, we're the Sterling Jaybirds. And right there, it was set. There's the Sterling Jaybirds. So Jack is a founding member of this band, and always reoccurring and coming back in it. It's amazing. So
man,
that was a fun time there, eh, Jack?
That was so much fun. I always love playing with you guys, and there'll be more time in the future too, just because, life gets busy and things go on or whatever, but those were some of the best times. And like I said, there's always room in the future for a fellow past Jaybird to join back up with the flock.
Well, you know how it goes, man. The wind blows north, and you're always coming this way. So, but let's kick into the Sterling Jaybirds here. So yeah, the way was I kind of mastermind this stuff, or actually, sorry, I'm kind of getting off the topic here. The Lambert Drive Studio. So yeah, I always have these songs in my head, and I hear all this stuff. And Jack has these awesome harmonies. So I was doing a song called "Pull Me Away," and it's very different than what the Jaybirds is, because there's drums in it, and Jaybirds only has like a washboard in it. And so I was just trying to go a different direction and see what I can do with my stuff. And I brought Jack into that booth at Lambert Drive Studios there, and I was just like this, no, try like that, or like this. And it was amazing. It was so much fun. So great.
That was a lot of fun. You I've been on one of your episodes. So Joel, aside from the Sterling Jaybirds and For the Love and some of his musical projects, Joel Malloy here has now started a YouTube series called
What's Happening 613. Yeah, so that right there is my mind again, and the community thing, like I keep saying. I love to promote people. I love music. I love this local thing we're doing. So what's happening 613 is I'm going around the community, and I'm going right to people's houses wherever they feel comfortable. If they have a show, I'll go to your show, but there's no shows right now. So if there's I'll go to them and they play me 4 songs, and then I interview them and I break down all their instruments because I'm a gearhead. I love having instruments around me. I love all that stuff. And so what it is, it's about an hour episode, and I have 15 of them out right now, and they're on YouTube solely right now on my channel called Hollow View Presents. So that's a lot of...
Hollow View Presents, okay.
If you type in What's Happening 613, there's 15 episodes, and on episode, I think 3 or 4, we have MBM, which is Jack's hip-hop group, right?
That's right. We had so much fun. Just let me tell everybody, when Joel came up, Joel and Anna, his wife there, they were working as a team, and the day just went so smooth. We picked a couple different locations. Joel said, I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. So I'm always a little bit nervous when working on, a project like that, and having, a friend come up and say, okay, we're going to have the camera in your face. You're going to be playing music, and we're going to be asking you questions. There's a sense of anxiousness that can come over anybody, really. So when that day started, I thought, okay, Joel's coming up. We're going to be shooting this thing for his, his web series, and this sounds like fun. And when they arrived, it was all just, it was cool vibes, and we had an idea of what we wanted to get done, and we had discussed kind of the storyline beforehand. Joel pulled out his camera, and he had proper lighting. He was really professional and easy to work with. And pretty much just said, what do you want to do? I have this idea. What's your idea? And then throughout the day, I think we started at my place, and we got some footage of me and Corey and Scott from Nothing But Mental in the basement, just shooting me on the loop station. We did some live stuff, and then we went over to Scott's house, to Corey's house, and checked out his studio. And then we finished off at Scott's place too, or something. So it was quite the day. And I must say that, like, if anybody has a local business or something that wants to get showcased, you should message Joel and get in contact with What's Happening 613, because Joel does do a great job at kind of a community exposure, and he is a fan of community and local businesses and arts and entertainment. He's a good guy to know, and he'll definitely help get you out in one of his shows, right?
Yeah, and like that day, man, that day was fun as hell. Like we usually, when I go, it's usually like one location because I'm usually shooting a group, and you guys are all so diverse, right? So like Jack has this loop station, the way he plays his stuff, he like starts a beat and then he gets his guitar going, he sings. I'm like, that's so amazing. But then you got Corey, you go over to his house, he's got the full studio. So like I was like, let's go, man, right? So usually it's one location, and I wanted to hit them all, man. So and then went there and then over to Scott's house because he had his own little studio. So I really wanted to showcase all 3 of you guys, because in all reality, I could do an episode on each one of you because you're all amazing artists, right? So it's really cool.
Thank you.
That was a great day, man. Thank you for having me up there. And like Jack's saying, if you guys want anything promoted, or if you want, I would love to. I might reach out to some people, and if you hear from me, shout back at me, because this is all coming out of my heart, out of my pocket. I don't charge anybody anything. I don't ask for anything other than, let's make friends, man. Right? This is great. I love this music community.
Absolutely. And the community needs more of that. It's great exposure, and everybody, like the local businesses, the local musicians, your fans, and your friends and your family and the community really appreciate what you're doing. That's why I decided to ask you to have an interview on Jacked Up Mondays, because I'm all about that. Because, especially right now when times are tough, right? I mean, we need to stick together and make sure that we're supporting each other, right?
Definitely, man. Yeah, you're doing the same thing, and this is beautiful, dude. Like, I've been watching, and I'm like I just said, if somebody's watching right now, I may have reached out to a few people that you've already interviewed, and I'm like now I'm finding people, right? So like, this is great. This is what I'm doing as this music community. This is beautiful, and heals everybody. I think that's one thing everybody can relate on is music, right? Like, that's cool.
Absolutely. Other than math, it's supposed to be like the universal language, right, of music and dance, and that type of connection.
I keep telling my kids that. I keep saying, like, you know, if you can read notes on a piece of paper, me, I'm bad. I'm an ear person and a tab person. But if you can read notes and play a brass instrument or a woodwind instrument, you can talk to somebody who doesn't even speak your language, but you guys are still talking in this beautiful language of music, right? So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I've interviewed so many people. Like, I've got 15 episodes on this now, man, and like you've seen a few of them, and like the episode 7 here, the Del Chuck brothers. These guys, there's a guy on a cello and a guy on a violin, and oh my God, this episode, I could have just went and lived with these guys, because these guys just play music flawlessly, and it's Métis fiddle music. Excuse me, I just burped there. And Métis fiddle music, and it's just beautiful from the soul, you know. And then like I've interviewed some amazing people like Washboard Hank and Reverend Ken, like that. Those guys are folk music at the realest. Like, they played with Neil Young all around Yonge Street in Toronto and all this stuff, you know. It's so cool, the music community that we have out there, and I'm really appreciative of all these people that are actually reaching or actually letting me bug them, you know. Because
yeah,
really,
well, you know what? Washboard Hank is a legend, especially around Blue Skies, and he does have like a lot of like those memories and stuff, and it's good. Not a lot of people know that, so to tap into that and let people know, you know, this is what people are capable of doing as musicians, and this is what things have been done in the past to remind people. It's like, hey, you know, especially us musicians, like, let's keep going, let's keep making, you know, connections and stuff, right?
Yeah, pass that torch, right? And that's just it. We don't want to lose this stuff. And like, I just did an episode on Teilhard Frost, and he's from Wolf Island, right up there with you guys. It's episode 12, and he makes banjos, gourd banjos for everybody around the world. Like, Rhiannon Gibbons is from Carolina Chocolate Drops, and she plays his banjos, and she's all over every magazine. And he's right there in Wolf Island. Like, we don't even know.
I've never heard of this. I don't think I've heard of this guy. What's his name again?
Okay, so his name is Teilhard Frost, and the reason why you Jack personally haven't heard of him, you have seen him play. He's Shishman Crow from Shishman Lotus and Son.
Oh, yes, yes.
And
I'm very familiar.
So, like, I want to talk about those guys. Like, those guys right there from Kingston and Shishman Lotus and Son. Those guys are the reason why the Sterling Jaybirds play the music they play, because we watched them at Blue Skies one year, and me and my brother were just like, that's it. You know, let's bring back 20s music. Let's bring back this old jug band stuff. Let's bring back a washboard and you know, it's
the
just
old-timey stuff, right? The old-timey stuff.
Not too many people are playing it around here, and I really love that Old Crow Medicine show, that big feel heavy. So if you come to a Sterling Jaybird show, it's going to be a fast show most of the time. That's why I got my brother there to slow me down and throw him in for some songs, and that's why we need to get you back around here, Jack, to get you in to help us out with some of these songs too.
Sure.
Like, man, I'm just thinking back about the Sterling Jaybirds. Like, geez, Music in the Pines, that was quite the episode, eh? With me.
It's funny you brought that up, because I was thinking about things to bring up to Joel, and I was like, I gotta bring up Music in the Pines. Like, that was quite the time. So Joel, like, the Sterling Jaybirds were just kind of getting together, and we'd only been jamming. We had a couple songs, and I think it was like somebody that your brother Jason knew, like somebody that he dated.
FTL got hired, and then I got Jaybirds into open, pretty much, right?
Okay. So we went out to this, like, at this In the Pines. It's just like, it was a different style festival. It was definitely like, there was a sense of like old ritualistic like tradition that was going on there, right? Like, I think a strong sense of, like, you know, I think, what was it, like,
very, very community, very, very I don't want to say culty,
yeah,
community, like commune.
Right.
There you go. But it was beautiful.
So that was
amazing.
That was really, yeah, that was a great weekend, man. We had a great time. We had the whole family out.
I just remember the three of us singing around one mic, and we were singing The Weight, and we were like, we hit that last note, and as soon as we stopped that note, it just echoed through the park. And me and you looked at each other and were like, well, that's why we do it, right? Like, that was amazing.
That's right. And nobody does The Weight like how we do it. There's millions of other bands out there, millions, playing that song all the time. Nobody does it like how we do it.
Nobody. Gotta have Jack on that. There's a few songs.
We also played that one again. You might as well talk about some New Skies action. We got some time.
Oh,
we probably got about 8 minutes left of this interview. So if you got anything else to say, but we can talk about New Skies a bit. That was fun.
Okay, I got a couple little things I want to talk about, kind of break some news here. So the great news is COVID is being lifted. Old Dougie Ford popped his head out the hole, and he didn't see a shadow, so he's not scared, right? So we're going to come out and play, okay? You hear this, guys? We're going to come out and play again. So with that being said, episode 14 of What's Happening, go check it out. What I've done is I took like 4 performers from my show, and what I'm doing with this show, What's Happening, is I'm taking these performers and I'm starting a variety show in theaters. So in the Sterling Theater, which is really cool for you, Jack, because we grew up there, man. So episode 14 is the Sterling Theater variety show that I held on December 21st of 2020. And they have just reached out to me and said that they're open. We can hold shows again, and they're not holding their big plays because they can only have 50 people in their audience. So that means he's reaching out, and we're going to be booking new shows.
Small community style vibes, right?
Your eyes open. There'll be variety shows coming from all the performers from What's Happening and performers that are coming up on What's Happening. So that's the big news right now. The Sterling Jaybirds are going to be killing it. We got 3 new songs. They're going to be heading to the studio real soon. You guys watch out for the Sterling Jaybirds. I want to shout out the Sterling Jaybirds right now too. Like I said, Jack's a founding member, but right now Jack's been heavy into what he's doing up here, and thank God he's doing what he's doing, because look at the platform he's given us all. But the Sterling Jaybirds, it's me, Joel Malloy. I'm singing, writing some songs. You may have heard a couple of them there. I got my brother Jason Malloy on mandolin, banjo, and he's playing fiddle. We got Joseph Richard on harmonica. We got Jeff McCarricker, aka Dirty Suds, on washboard. We got Andrew Gardner on the squeeze box, and Ryan Coolant on stand-up bass. So we have a full lineup of people. It's a big sound. And on this album you see here in front of you isn't the actual band it is now. So what we've done is we've lost people, we've gained people, and we still might lose or gain more people as it goes, but that's the joy of our band. It's just a big jam band, and we have a great time. So if you come to see the Sterling Jaybirds, what you're going to feel is a good time, and I can guarantee you that. What else did I want to talk about there was, yeah, like I said, you guys can find all of our stuff here, and what I want everybody to do is to help me out as a community and go to YouTube and subscribe to Hall of View Presents. That's my channel where you can watch all these shows, or go to Facebook and look up What's Happening. I try to put it as What's Happening in 613, but it won't go. So it's What's Happening on there. Jack will share the link on his page and stuff like that.
Yes.
And just keep sharing all this stuff, guys, because what we're doing is we're helping each other out.
Absolutely. And like I said, you and I are involved in like a couple different circles and one big circle. And a lot of our friends are like-minded, and they're all about community and love and food and art and sharing, right? So the more that we do things like this, the more that we can further connect people with similar ideas that are looking to do some of the same things, or come to good events and just be around good people, right?
That's right, man. Like I literally just reached out to Shook Planet. I'm like, that guy needs to be on What's Happening. Like that guy's got
yeah, you should.
He's dope. He's funky. I'm like, yeah, man. I just reached out to him, so hopefully I'm hearing back from Shook Planet, man. What's happening?
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'll let him know. I'll let Ted know that you're my buddy.
Do you want to talk about news, guys?
Yeah, let's talk about news, guys. We got probably about 5 minutes left.
All right. Well, I'll explain what I know of News Guys. So Blue Skies is a folk music festival that we go to every single year, and this year because of COVID, it was canceled. So there was restrictions of 50 people outside, so we gathered 20 of our closest friends and went to the woods, and we held the same festival that we go to Blue Skies, but we held it like 1/10 of the size. We literally made the main stage. We brought performers in, we did tie-dye, and we just got to camp with each other and loved each other. And I don't know what else to say about it, man. Like, it's so beautiful, and it was great what we did.
Well, you're absolutely right, man. Like pretty much everything that Joel said. Like we made the signs, and we kind of made our own version of like a mini Blue Skies, and tried to recreate exactly what we'd been experiencing since we were like preteens and teenagers, and growing up with this magical musical, like experience, right? Where like it's such a cool vibe there. So when we found out that, with the COVID rules, we're like, okay, guys, what are we going to do? Like, we have to still get together. We have to at least get the crew together. What are we going to do? Like, get together in a field? We're like, sure, but if we're going to get together, let's do it right. And we definitely did it right.
We did it right. That's right. Like Jack said, like, when you go to Blue Skies, you walk in, there's like Blue Sky signs, and there's there's all these different camping areas like Magooville and Sleepy Hollow. So we made our own signs, and we made our own stage, and just, it shows that we can prevail through this COVID stuff. And I'm glad it's all kind of lifting up, and everybody stay safe and stay covered up and wash your hands, right?
Absolutely. I couldn't give any better advice to anybody as well. So thanks, Joel. It's getting close to 7 o'clock, and I've got another gentleman I'm going to be interviewing too. That went smooth, man.
Dope, man.
I want you to keep doing what you're doing. You've got you've got more than a face for radio. You got a voice, man.
Awesome.
And I love your shows. Everybody tune in. Make sure you go and like it and go check it out, because Joel interviews tons of people in the community that you'll probably relate to, and it's cool to see what these people are doing. Everything I've seen, everything from sword making to custom tapestry and carpets to all kinds of stuff on Joel's show with like musicians and art. So it's very interesting, and give it a chance, because you might see somebody you know, and that could be really cool.
So no joke. So a little side note here. I was over at Jack's. I was shooting his episode, and I looked down the ground and I said, "Hey man, you got a little carpet there." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Where'd you get that?" And he's like, "I don't know. My sister got it in Belleville." I'm like, "Go to episode, hold on a second here. Episode 4. And her name is Inga. She makes carpets by hand. Go check her out. Episode 4, Inga."
That's right, Inga. So my sister knows Inga too, and I think my mother had bought this carpet. So what was funny is I had this carpet in my house, and I had no idea the connection. I just thought, my mom or my sister had got it for me for Christmas, and I thought it was kind of a nice carpet. And they told me that it was handmade, but I didn't know where it was from. So Joel recognized it right away. It was like, "This is Inga. Go check." So I sent that episode to my mom and to my sister, and they both watched it and absolutely loved it, and then messaged Inga and was like, "Hey, did you know that you're on this episode?" So they kind of vibed out, and it was really cool, man.
That's awesome, man. Well, like I want to tell everybody one more time, go to my channel, Hollow View Presents, subscribe to it, go to Facebook and find what's happening, and just like it and share my stuff, because it's all community.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen it here. This is Joel Malloy from What's Happening 613 and Sterling Jaybirds. We'll probably see more of him in the future. He's a good lad. We're going to get into a couple songs here on the radio, and then we're going to go right into a live interview with local hip-hop artist Daniel Steele. So say goodbye, Joel, and have a good night, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Love you, Jack. See you guys.
Love you too, buddy. Peace.